It has been a minute. I'm gonna set one of these
On my cherry podcast.
All right.
Let's start with our second one. Yeah. Make sure we have it. This is episode 82, 100 podcast. This has been a minute. It's been like a couple of weeks for sure. I got Seth in for like the fourth time and Judd for the first time. So I guess I want to start out with talking about eXp Realty, man. Like what got you guys into it? Like I think I've asked you like a million times probably already.
Well, you want me to start a story?
Yeah, for sure.
So like the thing that we always start off with is like we want to tell our story.
Yeah.
So that's how it goes. So like my story would be is I guess I grew up going to like my whole idea was going to school, so stuff like that. So I graduated high school, I went to college, went through that. I got my AA, COD for psychology, and I was going to transfer out. Then, like, fast forward, COVID hit. So, like, when it comes time to transfer for me to go to a different college, I had to wait like that. I had to take 6 months off of school.
Mm-hmm,
So, I was, like, in a dead period of just working both jobs. I was working at the Marriott, then I was working valet with Judd. So, he did valet at the Cliff House in Arnold Palmer. So, then kind of like a perfect timing, I guess I would say, is like COVID hit, and I actually lost both of my jobs for a second.
Yeah.
So valet shut down, so I was kind of stranded in the middle of like what do I really want to do? Like in a situation, should I go like the safe route? Because I had an interview at the water district. I told you about that.
Yeah.
So I actually went through the interview at the water district. I got the second interview, and they called me back the second time, and that was when the same time that we were talking about at work about real estate. And it was kind of, I was like stuck in the middle. I was like, should I take the safe route of going?
So you bet on yourself, kind of.
Yeah,
in a
pretty
way,
much.
because like the water district, obviously, like it's a good job, good career.
It's a job that has like a ceiling to it, I guess you would say. Like it's a comfortable, like you're gonna be there.
Yeah.
You could pretty much live out there until retirement. So then between talking to him and another coworker, it was like, why are you gonna go into something and be 1 foot in, 1 foot out type thing? So that's where it started, as me jumping to the real estate in November of 2020. So then it took like a 5-6 month process of just studying. Pretty much that. I had my nose down in the books every day.
That's kind of a quick turnaround, bro. I didn't know you barely started doing the real estate in November. So
November, then I got my license in April. And that was the fastest I could ever do it. So like you have to do a minimum of 18. No, you have to do a minimum of 7-8 weeks.
It was
8.
It's about 8 weeks. Like 2.5 weeks. The coursework was 3 courses, 3 college level courses, and each course, the quickest you could get it done was 2.5 weeks. So the quickest you get the 3 done was like, what was it, 7?
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, so like each time I finished a book, like 2.5 weeks, like the next day I started the next chapter or the next book. So I was just like, pretty much the fastest I can do is like I was doing that, trying to just like get my license application sent to the state, because that was like another 2-3 month delay.
So that was probably most of the
Like,
process. Then was just the
think about that though. Like you could go to school for 8 weeks. It's like the only career where you have less schooling than a hairdresser, but the potential to make money is lawyer and doctor, professional athlete level money.
Yeah.
Right? Like to be a doctor, you have to go to school for 8 years. To be a lawyer, it's like 8 years, right? Professional athlete, right?
You have to be on steroids.
You have
and
to
be
be
6'9".
Yeah,
You know.
you have to be 6'9" and a physical specimen and all that. But like, this gives you the option. Like, think about it. Where else can you take school for like a few weeks and have the opportunity to make millions of dollars? It's the only industry out there. So, I mean, it's pretty crazy when you think about it.
That's what the whole thought process came in, is like, when I compare it to like the water dish or something, do I want to be comfortable or do I want to have something where I could really like put my max effort into them?
Yeah, this is kind of a little off topic, but since you talked about it just a little bit briefly, do you think college was important for you? Like when you went to college, not even maybe for the schoolwork, maybe for the experience, or like for you growing up. Do you think it was important, or do you think that's not like a important? Maybe not. I guess community college is a little tough.
I mean, I was going for psychology, so that was like my whole idea is like I didn't even know what I wanted to do. There was like a maybe thing I was interested in criminal justice because that's what it was. I was like a criminal psychologist type thing. So that was like things that like interest my mind. But like that mindset that I had during school to like right now is like two different things.
Like way, yeah.
Yeah, because it's like it's like that's like a job, and this is like an entrepreneur. I work for myself type thing. So I'm gonna like grind on my own. I'm not gonna be.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna be working on someone else's schedule.
You're not like setting a square, you know. Like you
that's
gotta make it up all on your own.
Yeah,
basically.
this is like making it up on my own, and that's like following like some type of path, like them telling me type thing.
Yeah,
and that's what it comes like. Yeah, showing up to school I was showing up to school because I didn't know what else I wanted to do. Pretty much. So that's like
how I was when I went to college.
I feel like majority of the people are like that. It's like I don't know what to do, so I'm gonna just take business in college.
Yeah, I did criminal justice. I got an associate's in criminal justice.
Yeah,
It was like the same shit. It was like I felt like I should go to school, but I didn't know what I was going for, why I needed to go, or what my career. Yeah, I was like, you gotta go to school, you know.
Yeah, and I'm still young too, so like those 2 years that it took away from me was nothing. Like it didn't harm my thing in any way.
And you still got an associate's, right? You just said so. Like it's cool, man. You got an associate's degree.
Yeah, it's a win-win, I guess, but
more like a personal accomplishment to like prove to yourself that you could see that process through. You know.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's a great question because like I'm like an anti-school guy. I'm not like out there vocally telling people don't go to school, but I just think it's, you know, if especially if you're borrowing money to do it and putting yourself in debt, then don't do it.
And school too, even high school, man. I feel like it needs a revamp for like a lot of personalities. You know, it's not built for like business people or even like people that want to, you know, work for themselves. It's like you got to be a good worker. Almost
that's pretty much you're assigning your life to work for someone else.
Yeah, exactly. Even like the doctor thing or whatever. Like, you got to go to 8 years to just. That's the whole end goal is just be a doctor, and like you got to go to the doctor office every day. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, bro. Like
then, like if you think of it as like people go to college for 4 years, they graduate with whatever degree. I don't know, say like a
bachelor's.
Yeah, their bachelor's degree, and they can't find a job when they graduate, and they're making a minimum wage job when they get out type thing.
It doesn't mean you're gonna get the career right when you get out.
Then there's no guarantees just because you have a degree.
Then like the 8-week school of like real estate, you could go out and sell a house and probably make like just that 8 weeks of school that was a 5% of the college price that you probably took a big ass loan out for is like a
universities for sure. University that's something I would not push for unless you have a scholarship or something. Obviously, do it. But if you're having to spend out of pocket, that's a lot of debt, man.
It's a lot to
pay out of.
Dude, I'm gonna be 46 this summer. I have a friend who I went to college with. He graduated. I went to Kansas University, so like a Big 12 school.
Yeah. So how do you feel about college? Because you actually had the university experience. Yeah.
Yeah. From like that perspective, like the experience was awesome. You know, probably helped like my social skills, like talking to girls, like.
Yeah.
You know, talking to different people. It definitely helped and added value to my life, but like, you know, I wanted to make money. So like I just didn't want to be there. I wasn't interested, right? Like I wasn't interested in anything I was learning outside of some history, but like, you know,
not the majority of it.
Yeah. And really it's like history. I'm interested in history too, but it's like, damn, how am I gonna make money off of knowing the history,
teacher,
right?
You know?
History
teacher, that's it. But
if I could predict the future instead of tell you about the past, then I might have
exactly.
But like I partied for 2 years in college, like made lifelong friendships, right? So like totally worth it. But as far as like, you know, my dad pissed away money for 2 years because I just came home.
That's probably the biggest thing right there is like you said, lifelong relationships. It's like that. I think the biggest thing in college now, especially if you want to build something or whatever, is the networking. It's just the people you meet, the different personalities, because everybody's kind of from different areas. So that's where I think the university experience is huge.
If I could go back in time, I would collect the phone number and email of every person I met to build my database over years,
right?
For whatever I get into.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be
exactly.
real estate. It could be whatever I do. You want a database of contacts, and so, yeah, I mean.
And how easy would that have been, you know?
Yeah, right. I mean, you know, the technology wasn't around then, or like even some of the smartphones. I don't even know.
Probably not much.
Like flip phones, but.
So Judd, what got you into the real estate? We just talked about it a little bit before.
Yeah.
So obviously it has to do with the pandemic. So
yes, COVID, totally COVID. I had a valet business out here for almost a decade. I started it in 2013 at Arnold Palmer's, and grew it and got another big account, and pretty much ran with those two accounts and did some small parties, weddings along the way, but like ran with that and was getting comfortable making what I was making, working as little as I was working.
Yeah.
You know, I was content, right? I was happy. Comfortable, yeah, just not too motivated, but comfortable, and so
well,
yeah.
if you had a business running successfully for almost a decade, like you probably had it handled,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I did.
thought.
I mean, I guess I shouldn't short sell myself. I mean, I was motivated, but I guess I wasn't motivated to grow it too much beyond what I had already built, just because my stress level and finances I was comfortable where I was at. So like I just didn't want to take on more stress
on your plate.
Like I had an opportunity and actually bid on a hotel to where I would have been providing valet services 18 hours a day. Just over the graveyard, they were gonna relieve him of our duties, and then we'd come back super early in the morning. So from my perspective, like I'm open 7 days a week, 18 hours a day. That would have been too much. So I was like, okay. I priced it really high that if I got it, it would have been worth it. But I almost priced it myself out because I didn't want to stress 18 hours a day.
Yeah, you almost wanted to make sure you weren't going to get the
Pretty much. Like,
the bid.
Yeah, but I certainly wanted to like be on the radar because people travel and they leave one job, go to another. So like you want to create good relationships with people in case you get more opportunity when they go to different jobs. But so I was just comfortable with what I had, and then COVID hit, and overnight, just my income stream was completely gone. We didn't know when it would be back. I had like expectations. This will be a few months, and here we are, like almost a year and a half later.
Then like Cliff House still isn't open.
Yeah,
so
and
it's
one of
like,
my accounts still isn't even open for valet. So
Jeez, Cliff House still closed?
Cliff House is open for business.
Valet is not open.
Valet has been closed since
March. That was March.
And that's kind of a weird job to open, because you got people like getting in and out of your car or whatever, and people are gonna make that like a
it was
very
a thing.
Safety issue.
When we first came back to Palmer's, people were some people would come up to us and they'd be like, they'd go park, and then when they come up, they walk by us and be like, "Oh, it's nothing personal. We just don't want people in our cars." And I'm like, but 10 people are about to cook your food, and another few are gonna serve you, but you didn't want one person in your car. I mean, I understand, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
But in the beginning, like when we first opened up, because the state was like going back and forth in the beginning, we had like plastic steering wheel covers and shift lever covers. For a minute we were wearing gloves, and then I stopped that.
You guys are going above and beyond like everybody else.
Yeah, we were trying to, but at the end of the day, it turned out that the majority of the people that were coming out to the restaurants were like no fear. That's why they were coming out. They didn't care that we were getting in their cars.
Especially on a Palmer. The majority of the crowd that goes there is like they don't give a shit anyway. They're just happy to be out at dinner again.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so that all stopped,
night.
man. It all stopped in like March, and then for like 3 months, all I was doing was like the PPP thing, trying to get on unemployment as fast as I could, looking for any like government help for business owners out there. And then in June, I don't know if you saw The Last Dance, that NBA docuseries about the Bulls.
Oh yeah.
They released it in June. They bumped it up because
it could have been a lot less episodes.
Yeah,
but okay.
They moved it.
Fucking MJ's the GOAT. We get it.
Yeah, right. That's my guy. But so they bumped it up because it was a pandemic. They knew they'd get a high viewership if they put it in June, right?
Yeah.
So they put it in June. And then, so I started talking to my friends a little bit more because I grew up in Chicago in the 90s. So we're all watching this shit like it was our backyard yesterday.
Damn, you grew up in Chicago in the 90s.
Lived through it all.
No wonder that's your guy.
I'll give you
You get some Michael Jordan
I'll get to the
stories
Michael
later.
stuff later.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
shit.
for a second, 'cause I grew up next door to Mike.
Whoa.
Not like, here's his house, here's mine, but here's his down the street.
You're like in the right in the
development.
street neighborhood, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't want to get too off topic.
Wow.
With that, yeah, so I'm a little biased.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. Especially with how the Lakers looked yesterday.
Yeah,
I can
and
see
the
that.
LeBron thing. So it is what it is.
Okay.
But so I started talking. One of the buddies I was talking to was my lifelong friend. I've known him since I was in 6th grade when he moved to town, Brian Colhane. I've kept in touch with a lot of my friends over the years that I grew up with, and a lot of them live in different states. Obviously, I'm from Illinois, Chicago. Brian happens to live in Arizona, but he used to have these debate emails where we debate politics, philosophy, religion, things like that. So we've always stayed in touch. And about 12 years ago, I was actually selling promotional items like shirts with logos, pens with logos and shit. And I sold him like a bunch of pens and shirts and these little coins. And it was like the first EXP swag that they ever bought. And at the time, we were sitting there having dinner with his family. He's like, "Tom, just go get your license. Just get it in case, right? Like, we're building a brokerage here. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be awesome. Like,
Cool.
we're changing the whole fucking. We're changing the whole the whole industry is gonna be turned on its head for what we're doing." And I'm just like, "Sounds great. Good luck."
Yeah,
you know?
man.
Good luck, man. I want nothing but the best for you. That's awesome. But so fast forward to the June during the Last Dance series, like we talked, and he's like, "Just go get your license. Like, let me tell you a little bit about what's happened to the company since we last talked about it, right? Now they're a $100 billion company. They went public. At that point they had like 30,000 agents now, whereas 10 years ago when I was talking to him, there were probably like under 500, maybe 1,000 nationally. So I did. I got my license, and my wife and I went out and got our license, and that's what led us to EXP. It was COVID, a couple conversations, and a little bit of motivation. It really wasn't anything. It was just like,
what a childhood, bro.
it was just weird.
You grew up by MJ. Your other buddy is part of a $100 billion company.
The fourth largest
Jesus
shareholder at a
Christ,
$100 billion company. But
How
Was he
did-
the first president of it?
he was the first president? He was also in charge of growth, and for 3 years he headed the growth division, I believe. He was one of the founding team members. So yeah, I mean, I think he was like the second agent number 2, or 3 or 4, something like that.
High up there, doesn't matter at that
Yeah.
point.
What made you because from what it seems like, I don't know what from the beginning, like what your jobs were or whatever, but from what it seems like, you've always been like entrepreneurial, business-like. Like, so what's made you be like that, where you're a business owner, or you want to work for yourself? Is there anything in your childhood or growing up that caused you to be that way?
Probably just being around it. Like, I grew up with like a lot of my friends' dads had their own businesses. Right?
Gotcha,
So
yeah.
there was like, I had a friend who, his dad was in real estate. Maybe I had a friend whose my dad was in the automotive industry. Like, I had a dad who, a friend whose dad was in sales, a friend whose dad worked for the city of Tor. Like, they just had built their own business. They basically all worked for themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and that was
Gotcha.
probably attractive to me, but it didn't really kick in until probably I started in 2013. Because I grew up in Chicago, and I left when I was 32. I moved out to like Orange County, Dana Point. I just wanted to slow my pace down.
Mhm.
So like, I was not really entrepreneurial minded up until I got out here, and then I realized, like, I'm not in Chicago. I don't have connections. I don't have resources like I used to have. I got to carve out my own lane. So that's kind of the mentality that I had, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and at the end of the day, it just amounted to talking to people. Like, the
More conversations.
our boss says all the time, like, the most conversations wins. You don't know what you don't know. So until you have a conversation, you just don't know. You don't know the
Exactly.
possibility. You don't know the opportunity. You don't know, if you talk to somebody, what that guy might be looking for, or what the problems are in his life or business, and how you could fix that or add value to that. So I just started talking to people, and I kind of like got a position in the valet, right? Like, I started parking cars
Uh-huh.
in the summer, and then I saw some problems that I thought I could fix. So I started approaching the restaurants and saying, "Hey, I think we can do a better job. Hire me."
Wow.
So
You went
So,
in,
yeah.
learned the business, and then did it yourself.
yeah, learned the business and then took it over.
And then now, especially with the real estate, I feel like that goes full circle. Like, you need to network, you need to talk to people. That's the way you sell houses, right? Like,
Yeah.
you have to get a collection of people, a clientele.
There's so many little like one-liners, but they're all like just pure gold.
Yeah.
We hear them a lot. in our meetings and whatnot, but like your network is your net worth, right? Who you surround yourself with is like your value.
Yeah.
Right? And you know, so if you're surrounding yourself with a lot of struggling people, that's not wrong or bad, but you're kind of leveling down, right? And if you're surrounding yourself, you never want to be the smartest guy in the room, right? Like you there's always opportunity to learn. So if you surround yourself with more successful people, then you're just going to level up inherently through like osmosis.
Yeah, exactly. Just being around and learning from them talking, just their vibes almost like yeah.
It makes it like
and that's the word, the vibrations. Like big into vibrations. Like people put off vibrations, and I think it's like you pick up on those
you do
vibrations.
for sure.
You know.
Yeah.
I'd say I've never even met like have any of them in person.
Right.
You get me?
But
like,
you probably feel like
I listen to them
like
like on Clubhouse. I listen to them on Clubhouse.
You listen to them weekly,
I mean, I chat
bro.
with them on Instagram or something like that, but like physically, I've never met them in person. But they like rub off from Arizona, Chicago, Florida. They're like
Hundreds
like
and thousands
virtually,
of miles away. Yeah.
And you can just feel that every time they talk, they bring like that. What was that? Like a positive frequency over the thing, where it's like it just like.
Yeah, it's like you just...
They make you feel like, damn, like, what are you doing? Not in a bad way, but, like, you could be doing so much more for yourself.
Just, like,
why settle
keep
for less?
moving. Yeah,
keep
like,
moving.
why are you chilling?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the thing, like I said, like, being out here, you know, I come from fast-paced, massive population, seasons, construction, traffic, fucking sick of it all. I come out here, I've got sunshine, blue skies, very little traffic, right? So I'm digging this lifestyle, but then COVID hit, and it's like, okay, I didn't realize how close I was to losing everything. Like, you know, some crazy freaking disease comes on the planet, and like my life is turned upside down. So it kind of changed my mindset. I don't want to be comfortable anymore. I want to be rich. Like I want financial freedom.
Yeah, man.
I mean, straight up, like there's no sugarcoating this. Like,
nah, exactly.
You
I
want
want
to
to
be
be
successful.
and that's the direct way of saying it. But what I want is like the financial freedom that comes with having stability and money, being, you know, essentially being rich.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know, that's what I'm shooting for now. And
doing what you want, when you want.
And that's
however
really the
you
goal.
want.
That's why I want to be rich, man. The exact same goal is just so I can do what I want to do, man. Like, so I can do the things I enjoy.
No one can tell you when you can do it. There's just things like that.
Right,
Like,
exactly,
I want to
man.
leave the...
My kids, where they want to go, we can go, you know?
You
like,
can
shit
do what
like
you
that.
want.
Yeah.
who you want to do it with, and where you want to take it. And those three things, like you can do what you want, who you want to do it with, and where you want to go. And like honestly, it's you know, I definitely want all that stuff, right? But like, and I'm learning more and more from my mentors, like that's not enough. Like once you attain, because like the human mind latches onto the next biggest problem and makes that bigger, right? Like
exactly.
You pay off all your debt, you think
you got a new thing now.
You got a new thing, right? That you'll just latch onto. So what I'm noticing is like a lot of people in our orbit who attain the success that like we're trying to get, they want to give back. That somehow feeds them, right? It gives them fulfillment to give back what was given to them. And so all these people that we talk about that are super successful and wealthy, dude, they're grinding every day to help like people below them achieve the same level of success. So but that's like the culture of EXP. It's like it's just a supportive, collaborative culture there. So it's like very non-competitive. Like Seth and I are competitors in a sense. We're both competing in the same market for the same people. Yeah. So like if he gets a listing and I don't, I lost money, he's making money, right? But at EXP, the culture is way more collaborative, and people work together, and so
it's more like if he got the house, well, that's good. It was for EXP, and we're a team. We're more of a team than
if he sells a house, EXP makes money, right? EXP makes money. The stock price goes up. I'm an agent owner, which means I'm an agent shareholder. There's a lot of equity opportunities in buying and selling homes. You can become a shareholder in the company. So the better he does, the better I do. So I want him to do better. So that's what the supportive culture like is all about.
That's what that was like on the Clubhouse this morning of like Pat Hayes.
Yeah.
When he was in between, not really in between, but he was sitting down with the Keller Williams agent and EXP. Well, not EXP. He was already committed, but he was sitting down with the Keller Williams agent, and he was just saying like I'm gonna ask you like 3 questions on like why, if you can like present this opportunity, is like, am I gonna be able to invest in stock in your company? And he's like, no, like that's way too. We're not even public. We don't have a stock, whatever. So that's what EXP provides, and it's the second one he was asking is, am I gonna be able to make like passive income, and able to get what 100% on commission stuff? Yeah. Then he was like, no, like that's way too expensive. I can't do that. Then I forgot what the third one he said, but it's like a typical brokerage can't provide the same
shit for you, really.
You're only gonna be making money selling houses, but EXP allows you to make money off like the passive income. It makes you stock shares, like everything. It just allows you to make way more money.
They're more involved with you. They're more trying to push their agents.
Yeah, so that's when he was saying about like we're in the same market, 2 real estate agents, but we're like supporting each other. Is because of like, if I sell a house, in his downline, which I guess we'll explain later. But like, I'm in his downline, so every house I sell is actually helping him. But so then the people that come into me, they sell houses, they help, but it's not under their commission. It's under the broker. It's coming out of the company's pocket, so it has nothing to do with like their money. So it's like a way of just, every time we ask people or mention it, it's like to help them. Provide opportunity to their life, not really ours. That's how I see
exactly. And I feel like it just makes it more of a camaraderie, you know, like just more of a team effort. Because obviously, if you sell a house and he's not able to get it, at least he still gets a part of it. Or an agent under you, not a part of it from your commission, but a part of it.
Yeah,
from
he can help me. I can help him. It goes like
it's
a full circle. It's not
exactly.
one-on-one.
Fuck, if you're all selling houses, then you're all doing good.
Yeah,
it doesn't
exactly.
matter. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like, selling houses, you're doing good.
Yeah.
But you're not just making money from selling houses at EXP if you're selling houses, right? Like, at most traditional brokerages, like you know, there's a commission split. You sell a house, you get your commission split. The brokerage gets their commission split.
Yeah.
That's it, right? But at EXP and Brian, my friend, he always like holds up his phone and he's like, you know, if I was going to try to explain EXP, it's like saying explain your iPhone. Like, you can't just explain an iPhone.
It's
There's
hard.
so many functions, right? But the 3 things that EXP has, like in a general sense, that you know, most other brokerages do not, is the revenue share. Some brokerages have profit share, but not revenue share, right? And not all brokerages are profitable. So if you're not profitable, there's nothing to share.
Great.
Revenue's coming in monthly, so there's always revenue to share. So
and there's a lot of companies that aren't profitable.
There's a lot. I mean,
It's
you know,
like,
a lot of big companies didn't make money for years, even like some of the .comers.
Even Tesla for a minute.
I remember back when Amazon went public, like they were losing, they were just spewing money like every year. They were losing billions and billions of dollars. So, so you have your commission split, your revenue share, and then but the commission split is, you know, pretty standard. The revenue share is not. You have, and then you have equity opportunities, which is the agent owners. Like, we're owners. We actually care about how the stock performs, how the company's earnings perform. So there are 5 ways where you can earn equity just by buying and selling houses. So you can earn stock just by doing what you are doing. One of the ways is when you close your first transaction of the calendar year, you get $200 in EXP stock for free. When your sponsors close their first transaction, you get $200 as well. Okay. When I sell a house or buy a house and earn a commission, I can choose to take 5% of my commission in the form of EXP stock. So instead of getting dollars, I would get shares of stock, but I would get the stock at a 10% discount of current market price. So immediately you're making 10%.
You're immediately up.
You're immediately up.
Whoa.
The other way,
that's kind of cool. Yeah.
Another way is, so when there's something called capping in real estate, right? So that means that if you sell about $5 million worth of homes, right? Like, say you sell one $5 million house, or you sell $5 million houses, however you want to cut it. If you sell about $5 million in gross commission, then you cap, okay? And so capping means that the 20% split that goes to the brokerage, that equated to $16,000. You've paid them. You've made enough money in commissions that the brokerage made $16,000. Okay, If you do an additional 20 transactions beyond that, then they give you the 16 grand back in the form of EXP stock. $16,000 of EXP stock given back to you just for producing. So they incentivize buying and selling homes even more by saying, here, go sell, go do this and reach this milestone. All that money you've been paying us, the 20% you've been paying us,
we'll give it back to you.
We're going to give it back to you in stock.
Which is like a long, like a, I don't know, 401k, yeah, it's pretty much a stock. You have something building on its own without you.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're not even putting in your own money.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're creating income, but so EXP is a wealth creation machine. It's not about, you're essentially, you're running your own business, right? You're an agent owner. So it takes like the old boutique, like the broker model, and plugs it into their model. Essentially, I'm a broker builder instead of a broker owner, because say I bring in 5 agents, right? So I bring in 5 people right under me, but then each of them brings in 5. So I have 5 in my front line, and then they bring in 5 each. So there's 25 in my second line. I'm collecting commissions off of every single person, off of every one of their transactions. And I don't have to insure them. I don't have to get, I don't have to pay for an office for them. I could if I wanted to, if they were local. But I don't have any of the liabilities or expenses that a typical broker has if they want to be, have their own brokerage. This model allows you to kind of plug that into EXP, take away all the liabilities and risk, but maintain the income and ability to create wealth. And that's through the revenue share and the equity, right? Mm-hmm. So the revenue share is the coolest part. Like, that's the coolest part about it.
And also, what's up with the tech with EXP? Because isn't that the whole...
The cloud?
And that's the
whole difference, right?
Yeah, so I know you see me as like I log in my laptop, and it's a cloud-based brokerage, so everything's on the computer. I go click the application, and it sends me to this virtual, which I call the university. And you could pretty much do everything from there. So that's where our Cool Hand Company suite is upstairs. So you go and click whatever, go to your private suite, and that's where he has, I don't know how many offices he has in there, but that's where we have our business meetings every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So, but everything's on the computer.
Yeah.
So you log in, you go to the suite, you literally walk in with your keypad, you go and sit down at the, I don't know, the table, and there's a guy sitting at the front with all the presentation boards, like talking to you. So it's like you're.
Are you if you're like doing, if you're doing a deal, does that happen online as well? Is that happening? Like, let's say you're selling a house. Like, can any of that happen online?
Well, your transactions and because there's a lot of paperwork involved. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so, like, you do go online to maybe talk to your managing broker. You have to talk to a broker, because we have state brokers in every state.
Got you.
That are, they're not franchise brokers, they're not working for themselves, they're working for EXP, but we have to have brokers have a license in every state to do business. So in California, the more agents EXP has in that state, the more brokers available. So, technically, if you had a question about processing the transaction or even doing some paperwork, or you needed to run something by your broker, you can. So you do go in there, but their technology platform, there's something called EXP Enterprise that everybody gets when they log in, and that gives you access to this software called SkySlope, which is where when you're doing a business, when you're buying or selling a home, that's where all of the paperwork and documents you will need are housed, so you can.
Interesting.
It's all online essentially.
Yeah. So that's the difference. Is it's just the brokerage online, basically. They put it all on the internet.
Yeah, so that's what he was mentioning earlier. Like, you don't have to pay like the office fees, the rent fees. So you don't have to pay the paper, the ink, whatever. Like, all fees you have to do is everything is online. That brings up like the point I was scrolling through the cloud, and you could hear people around you like nationally. And there was a guy from Missouri going up to like the tech support.
Yeah.
Or the information guide, and he was just asking like, I need like a listing agreement printed for the state of Missouri.
Dude,
and she
so
said,
crazy.
She said, click this, and I'll send you to someone that can help you print that for the state of Missouri. So So then they go and they just shoot off, and it's like
What the?
they could help anyone across the
It's
state.
crazy.
Dude,
I mean,
that is wild.
We're now in, I don't know the number now, but I mean, we're global. We're in India, we're in
Spain.
Mexico, Spain, Colombia, Brazil.
55,000 was
Germany.
the last update.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the
Jesus.
reason why. So the company has an 80-20 split. You sell a house, you make 10,000 in commission, you keep 8, the brokerage gets 2. They only keep really about half of that, because 50% of the 20% is what they're using for their rev share. That's how they're paying their agents, right? So like, if he sells a house, I get 3.5% of his commission. That comes out. That's about 10% of the 20%. So essentially, they're only making about 10% after they pay out their rev share. The reason they're able to do that and give back so
They don't
much,
have all that brick and mortar.
there you go.
Yeah,
not in the business
that's
of-
like those mobile banks now.
Yeah.
How everything's just turned to. They don't even have any brick and mortar spots. They have just everything's online.
And
Yep.
you pass it on. In this case, to the agents. In a business, you would pass that savings on. An online business might be cheaper than a brick and mortar. Well, because they're passing the savings on to you for not being in the business of owning real estate, which can be expensive, especially if you're leasing property. So that's where that money comes from.
So you guys have both passed your test, right? Your real estate.
Yeah, we're
So-
both in the. I don't know if we're both in the same process, pretty much, but we're like getting the ongoing of.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
what are the
setting up
next? What are the next steps for till you guys can like go out and like, I don't know, balls to the wall and
I
fucking
guess
go
me
for someone
personally
else?
is like I'm waiting for my business cards, and I just need I need to make a mess with my name, so it's just like blasting it everywhere, and I plan on going like door knocking and stuff like shit like that. But I'm just waiting
get
on
it
a
out
couple
there.
things. But yeah, eventually, the term that he's actually introduced me is like burn the ships. So it's like he did that. He got the business, the valet business is like behind him. Then he's going like full real estate. So it's like eventually I'm gonna have to quit my jobs and just fucking
full on,
yeah,
100%.
full on go 100% in. Because it's like, how can people count me as like reliable if I'm not even 100% in myself type thing? So it's like I guess I know what I'm doing, but like in a month or two, that's when I'm just gonna like
go for
shoot the shits. Yeah, just.
And there's so much
I get you.
training and support. I mean, at the end of the day, real estate agents are independent contractors, right? Like, we all work for ourselves.
Yeah.
And, although the training and support is there, nobody's really going to hold your hand, right? Like, so it's it's a coaching up, it's a mentoring business, but ultimately it's a go-getter, right? Like I did in the Valley, you got to find a way to carve a lane. You got to find a way to generate leads, right? And there's, within EXP, we have the system called KV Core, which is like normally if you're not with EXP, it's $500 a month, so it could be $6,000 a year, but we get it for free with our monthly dues, which at EXP is only $85 a month. To join EXP is $149, and then $85 a month, and that's it. That's no desk fees. There's some transaction fees when you close a deal, but that's even capped at $500 for the year. So, it's the technology, the people, the resources are there, and then ultimately you've got to. It still has elements of like the olden days. You got to get on the phone. You got to call people. You got to, everywhere you go, you've got to look at it as a potential opportunity to just talk to somebody and let them know you're in real estate.
And every career, man, that's what people don't understand. There's a grind to it.
And that's
every
what,
career,
yeah,
bro.
so that's,
even if you like your job. It's
yeah,
like,
that's what makes it tough. Is like how I was like when I was studying, I was doing everyday type, like 8 weeks. I was on the thing, and so I was just doing super fast.
yeah,
But it's like once you pass your test, and it's like hold up, like you can't just.
you're not just jumping in. You don't have 10.
Yeah,
houses
I
right
can't
off the
just
bat.
like go like that and be like, I want to sell you a house.
Yeah,
I mean,
you don't
it's
get
just
to-
hard. I don't know. I don't have people in my contact list to.
Yeah.
After now, it's like a whole new process of I have to go and find people. So it's like I can't really rush myself like too much.
Yeah,
Like I have to get that through my head that it's like it's a slow process. not slow, but it's not a
Yeah,
it's not a next day thing where it's like that.
Let's say you do talk to people even, and you don't want to sound like you need to fucking sell the house to them. You know what I'm saying? Too?
Yeah.
So like you gotta like just put it in their head or whatever, and then just like wait it out, and that's where they call you later about it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where we say like most conversations wins. So it's like you just talk to someone and you bring up that you're a real estate agent, and maybe somehow you can get their contact info, and that can help you like 6 months down the road. It doesn't have to help you tomorrow, next month.
Yeah.
I think that the average thing is like, if I were to contact someone, the average window is like 45 days later of like an actual transaction or something. So it's not like a next week thing. So that's what makes it like nothing's right now.
You just gotta be patient.
Yeah, you have to be patient.
You have to have some patience. Like you're gonna work through your friends and family pretty quick. Like
exactly. Yeah.
And not all of them are like chomping at the bit to uproot their lives and just move because you're a real estate agent all of a sudden, right? So like, you work through your friends and family. You're blasting on Facebook, but at the end of the day, it's a lead driven business, and you've got to go get it. You've got to make calls. You've got to call. There's a lot of software available to us, in technology, to provide leads and tell us which listings are expired. So we can call them and say, hey, I noticed whatever the script is, I noticed your listing is expired. I'd love an opportunity to come and see your house and see if I can list it and get you what you're asking for, whatever. There's a lot of different like target demographics to go after if you want to, or you can just spread it out. But ultimately, it comes down to like picking up the phone and calling people, right? Like it's calling people and trying to get the go ahead to get their representation, or at least just get in front of them, right? Like just an opportunity to set up a meeting to come view the property and have the opportunity to be the listing agent, or if you have a friend who's been renting for 10 years, you hope that they call you when they want to buy, whatever the case is. You just have to keep putting it out there and talking to people and calling people. But like you said, dude, it's a grind, right? It's
just slowly build that network.
Yeah. I was talking with a guy who said it took him years to build. He's got a database of like 600 people, and it's taken him years to put that together. But
Jesus, how do you feel like growing up in Chicago has helped you, as like growing up in that, because it's cold ass weather, and then you're in a big city, so it's probably a little wild, and then you come out here and it's like.
Yeah.
Not near as much going on, I'm sure.
Dude, I needed to come here.
Yeah.
I needed to come here.
Jesus.
Yeah, I was partying pretty hard when I was in Chicago. Like, I was raised like in the northern suburbs of Chicago, so not like really downtown city. I'm not like a city kid.
Okay.
Like people from around Chicago just say Chicago. It's like when I tell people here, I usually say Palm Springs because it's just more noticeable.
People know what Palm Springs is.
Not many people might know La Quinta, but. So, like, my dad was in the automotive industry. I dropped out of college after my sophomore year, came home, worked for him. So I was 19, did okay, because he was my dad. Moved downtown when I was 21, and by the time I was, like, 27, I was, like, burning fumes.
Yeah, like, I gotta get the fuck out of this place.
Yeah, like, I was clubs, doing the whole nightlife thing. I was more concerned about partying than I was about, business or relationships or being healthy, and so that's what ultimately got me to move out of Chicago, just because like I couldn't slow down there. It just was like at a certain age I was like, okay, I can't press the brakes here, so I need to like get the hell out.
Yeah.
And I had family in California, so I was like, I'd been out to Orange County a couple times, so I was like, I'm just gonna go out there, and the slower pace is what I was seeking. But it definitely helped me, right? Like I feel like I can turn the Chicago on when I need to, right? Like
you can turn that energy on and just
I can turn that energy on. I have that experience to draw on always, and even like I would say not so much being in Chicago, but like working for my dad in the family business. He owned a leasing company, and so his niche was leasing cars to corporations, mainly in the Chicagoland area.
Okay.
So say, you had you're a dentist and there's 5 people at your practice, and
you have some company cars.
Say you get some company cars, right? And but you want good service, You want, your daughter comes in town, she needs a car to borrow, call us, right? If you need an oil change, just go to work, call us, we'll pick it up at your office, bring it back to you before you go home. If we can't get it back to you before you go home, we'll bring you a free loaner to go take home, right? So a real niche, like service-based leasing company. And so we didn't have a dealership, we just had an office building and a lot. But I'd say like what helped me most was just like sitting in there, like being there.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know shit, and I'm sitting in meetings with like bankers.
You're just seeing the business, the back end, the real day-to-day work.
Terms, like what does that mean? Like he said this, what does that mean? How does that apply? Like,
Gotcha.
And stuff like that. So a lot of financing.
So you got to see business pretty quickly at a young age.
Pretty quickly at a young age, I was exposed to it, and so I didn't necessarily fall in love with it, but I was definitely like interested. Like I didn't want to be in the car business for the rest of my life, but I like business. I like the business side of it.
You like some of the skills you
Yeah.
got taught from that.
Yeah, for sure.
So what's up with you guys in ice baths now?
Dude,
So what's the
what's up?
fucking deal? You
Gotta jump
fucking.
in.
So that's that goes all the way back to.
I'm a sauna
I don't-
guy. You guys like the
I
sauna?
fucking love this.
I love
I
this.
love both.
They're all closed now, so I don't
EOS
know.
is gonna open up on
Oh, they're gonna open up the sauna?
June 15 is like the target date.
Really?
Yeah.
I've been waiting on
Just
it to
rejoined,
open.
bro. Just rejoined. Just for that
Let's
reason.
go.
Only.
I
Just to
love
hop
the
in the
sauna.
sauna.
Sauna is like my daily thing.
It's so good for you,
Yeah.
mentally, physically.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Just that.
Yeah.
It's all of it out, man.
Like the cold baths goes back to. Well, I guess I heard it from you. I don't even know where it started, Brian or.
I mean, I know I got it from Brian.
Well, yeah,
Like,
so I'm
'cause
sure that's where it
was-
started. But it
I-
was like
yeah.
then there's a ice bath cold fusion club is what they call it, like on Facebook. It really is, and you go on there and there's people that like the Wim Hof method. So that's like the guy, like he calls himself the Iceman.
Okay.
So he literally goes in like Mother Nature type thing and go take a dip.
He's
in
in like a frozen pond
Dude,
or
he's
some
climbing
shit.
Like
Mount
an-
Everest barefooted
Yeah, like shit like that. Like it doesn't.
with no shirt and no shoes.
So like yeah, he'll go
It's
in a
crazy.
frozen pond.
You know what's so
and, like,
crazy
sit
is how
in there.
trendy Mount Everest got. How many people do it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Sherpa,
like
everybody does their own personal Sherpa now. Like,
yeah, it's like a celebrity
Unsafe.
thing now. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so it was a Wim. I don't know how he. I mean, I know how Brian got onto it. He got onto it because he had an accident, broke his hip. He's 6'4". He was like 300 plus pounds, fucking unhealthy. So he decided to turn his life around, and this was introduced into his world. But like as an athlete, athletes been doing this shit forever. I mean,
I used to do the
the
whirlpool.
football, like,
Yeah.
for football, like everyone does it, but I guess the difference is like for football, I did it too, but that was for like a physical part.
that was for
to like
recovery, right?
it was to repair your body
Right.
after 4-hour practice. Who knows in the 110
Exactly.
degree heat.
Fighters been sitting in horse troughs with ice for decades.
Yeah.
right? Like
And
just so they could train that hard the next day.
yeah. So but
Yeah.
like I guess the difference is like they this
Are you guys doing it just for your mental?
for both. Well, because we both like work out. We both do.
Yeah. So
I do
obviously
weight
it's helping
training.
you physically.
Yeah, so
clearly.
I do weight
Yeah.
training. He does like fighting training. He goes running, stuff like that. So both different type of things, but we do it for the physical part. Then like the mental part, where it helps your breathing, and there's actually science behind it, where it releases the endorphins. It releases like foggy brain and like the frontal lobe type thing. It clears up your mind, and it actually does like a lot of health benefits. So like weight loss, your immune system builds up. So there's like a lot of underlying benefits that like people don't know about it.
Yeah.
And like if you really try it for shit, I don't know, like 3 to 5 minutes, like you would get out and you're actually gonna feel like that's how I feel every time.
Feel better.
Like you feel like
good.
100% when you get out.
Your
Yeah, I
mind
can
is
see that.
Clear, like
I can see definitely the mental benefits because then you're in there and you're not thinking about much except for fucking
you don't have a choice.
Freezing your ass
surviving the
off. Yeah.
cold. Yeah,
you just set a
exactly.
timer and like sit in there literally. Then it's
Yeah.
like the Miles Lucas guy is like when you start like when you sit in there for so long, your body gets it builds like a warm layer around it.
Exactly.
So it's like you actually want to start moving around again. So like get your body cold.
Oh,
Yeah. So like
really?
you don't want to just get used to it and get numb.
because then the little warm little.
Then it's like it's not
bubbly
doing
end.
anything. Yeah. So it's like you want to like pop that little warm bubble and just like let the fucking ice hit you again. So then it's and it takes the
Like-
breath out of you. It lowers your heartbeat. It's like
It simulates. Your body doesn't know, but like it simulates you're about to freeze to death.
yeah.
So you're basically you're putting yourself in a position where your body's going to think that whether you want it to or not. And so all the blood immediately rushes from, like, the reason why your fingers burn and your toes burn.
I've told one.
Is because all of the blood leaves your smaller...
Trying to keep you alive.
Yeah, it goes to your big organs, right? It goes to your, your functioning big main organs. So the blood just rushes out, and then you get the burning sensation. But at about 2 to 3 minutes is when, like, the science kicks in. And your body's like, okay, we're not freezing. We're not dying. Everybody go back to where you came from. So the blood gets back in your fingers, and you get some sensation back. You get your feeling back. The pain goes away. It still feels cold, but that's kind of like the science behind it. It actually, and then like Seth says, obviously, like your immune system, your lymph system, it helps your white blood cells. There's other things, like he said, we're in a clubhouse room where we learn a lot of stuff, and people in there talk about, like, it's good for mental health. It's good for, like, skin. It's good for other diseases that I don't know about.
Yeah, just like it's just like almost like the opposite of the sauna, just like taking your body to the edge a little bit and letting it have to, suffer for a minute.
Because that shit actually hurts too.
Yeah,
like your toes, like it's like your, I can't even describe it.
Like, dude, I got one toe, like this toe burns like somebody's lighting a lighter just right underneath it, dude. And it's like 3 minutes it stops. But like, you're right, it's for me, I love that I get like physical benefits from it, but I'm doing it for the mental.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing it for the mental, because I don't like doing it. I mean, I kind of do now, but it's like,
you know what you're getting yourself into, so you're not as like,
it's
like,
not
fuck
I'll just put
this,
it this
like
way. I like doing it, but it's not fun. Right? It's like,
clearly,
it's clearly not fun.
Yeah.
Right? So like, you're doing something, and so your mind has to stay like focused, and like you said, it's you can't think about anything else except breathing. So if you want to shut out the noise, right? If you're stressed, if you're anxious, if you're in school and you got 3 papers due, and you got a job too, like.
They say it helps with like depression, like stuff.
That's why
like
I need the sauna, man.
Dude,
that shit is like,
you
that's
jump in
you
that
think
ice.
about just surviving the heat.
I'm telling you, that's like the same thing.
Yeah.
Just because you just concentrate on your breathing, and that's what like why a lot of people make say a mantra, like instead of you make a noise.
Yeah.
Ooh or whatever the noise might be.
Yeah.
Oosa woosa, is because you're not thinking. You're just repeating the same thing over and over again.
Just trying to get in the zone almost.
Yeah, so you're clearing your head. You're centering your thoughts, and you're actually getting rid of your thoughts because you're not thinking. You're just breathing. You're being.
Yeah.
I've seen your ice bath. How does that make you feel getting your ice bath? Because it looks like you're like in like a fucking garden or some shit.
Yeah.
Like when you're doing it. So like, does that help too? Also, like you're out in the fucking fresh air and.
So we rented this house like last year, right before COVID hit. My wife and I rented a house in the Cove, and I thought it was the goofiest shit ever. In the backyard, they have like a bocce ball court, which is like some Italian game with. I don't know.
Try to get the ball close to the other ball or whatever.
Yeah.
The big ball to the
it's
little
like
ball.
shuffleboardish kind of. I don't know how to explain it. Never played it. But there's a bocce ball court, and at the end of the bocce ball court is a fully functioning bathtub surrounded by like a gate and a bunch of citrus trees. So like, my setup is awesome.
Yeah.
It's not mine, but it's I just turn the water on, put some ice in, and I sit in there, and I've got like, I could smell the citrus.
Man,
Birds are chirping.
In the wilderness.
The sun's on my face. It's like,
what a smart move by whoever owns that house, because
yeah, they put a lot.
it looks beautiful, man.
Yeah,
just from seeing the.
Yeah, and there's people that do it different. Like there's a guy that, or multiple people. They have like the outdoor, the freezers, like a meat freezer. That's what it is. That's what you call it? A meat freezer.
We have a buddy, Alfonso Camargo. He's like my spirit animal. This dude like does all the shit I want to do. He's attained a level of success within EXP that I strive to attain, but like I said, he's all about like still doing more. Right? He's not like taking the money and running. He's giving back. He's serving the community. He's serving his his coworkers and stuff like that. He's collaborating, but he's all into the. He's got an ice freezer in his garage, and he keeps water in it. And overnight it freezes at the top. So he just goes in, he breaks it up with a hammer, and he's got an ice bath.
And he jumps right in and he unplugs it and jumps. So it's like it's already made. But he does it like at like 20 degrees or something. So it's like fucking. Yeah. I don't even know what temperature, but I don't think mine's 20 degrees.
No way, bro.
I think mine's like sub 50 maybe, but like 20 is like a whole different ballgame.
It's a straight freezer, so it's
yeah, you're freezing.
It's like insulated to stay cold.
Yeah, so I don't know how. But yeah, there's different ways of everyone doing it.
I would recommend ice baths to every single person I know. Honestly, I would say like if you have a chance, if you have the ability, the equipment or whatever it may be to do it, just try it. Like for me, it started with I didn't just jump into a bucket, a tub of ice to begin with. It started with a 10-second shower. I took a hot shower, and then at the end, for the last 10 seconds, I
love doing that.
Do the cold. And
cold
you want to put it, keep it on the back of your neck, collarbone area. But like I'd have my wife come in and literally count down from 10. Then like the next day I did 12, and then I did 15, and I got it up to where I could do like cold shower pretty easy. And so I took it to the next level and started doing the ice baths. So you don't have to just jump in a tub of ice to start.
Yeah, clearly you could
work your way
take
up
some
a little
steps
bit.
up.
It's really a benefit for everyone, though. That's why I kind of recommend it. That's a way, like, I don't know, I'm posting it a lot on Instagram now. It's like trying to actually, like,
that's not
brand
you
it out there. Yeah, so
it's not you trying to get the bitches, bro.
Yeah, that I'm in the tub and
You're
stuff.
looking,
in the cold
you're
tub.
slow-mo sitting down.
I'm not wearing anything.
Yeah, exactly. Come sit in the ice
anything.
bath with me, baby.
It's like you're at the beach in the hot weather. That's how I
Yes, it is
describe
cold in here.
Man, it's cold in here.
Don't ask. Yes, it is.
You know why I'm in here.
Major shrinkage in the ice bath, bro.
Facts, dude. Facts.
Major shrinkage.
Oh man,
in your stomach. But yeah, that's pretty much.
So what's your guys' goal then for this year in real estate? What would your guys', I guess, Judd, I'll start with you. What would your goal be for this year in real estate?
Well, I wrote that shit down because if you say it, you say a goal, it obviously has power, right? You fucking write it down and it's 10 times the power, right? You see it every day. It's embedded.
Put it on your mirror, some shit.
Yeah, you just put it so you even if you're walking by it, you like do a double take. Oh shit, I see you.
Mm-hmm.
I see you goal. I see that goal over there, right? So, my goal was to do it $1 to $3 million worth of transactions, and recruit. Not recruit, but I was working for Brian. Had a scholarship. Like if you come into EXP through the Culhane companies, we have something called the Excellence Academy, where we'll scholarship your entire process, from the schooling to your MLS dues to your realtor dues, right? It's all taken care of, obviously with a commitment to remain with EXP. That makes sense. Yeah. So my goal was to recruit 10 scholarships into the program this year. My position and the projects that I've been working on has kind of changed that a little bit. So now I'm gearing more towards attracting agents and not recruiting scholarships per se. So my goal is to do like $1 to $3 million in production and attract 5 agents underneath me this year, and we'll see.
See where it goes.
I'm 1 month in. Yeah, I'm only 30 days in. So
and it feels like forever, but it's really not.
Yeah, I mean, COVID really slowed everything down. So I mean, testing was slowed down. The ability to get a license was slowed down. The ability to do events in person, were slowed down, and networking was slowed down. So
yeah, COVID slowed it down, but you guys wouldn't even be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wouldn't be here.
I say that. I tell them that all the time. It's like really without COVID ever happening, it's probably not of.
Yeah, and how motivated do you guys feel now today compared to before COVID? Like, do you guys feel like it kind of was a blessing in disguise?
Yeah, exactly. That's what. Like it sucks that it happened, but it's like damn. I'm grateful that this opportunity actually popped up because of this stuff.
Yeah.
So it's and that my mindset, if I took myself back 12 months from now, not even 12 months, 6 months, my mindset's like night and day type thing. I just can't even put myself back in those shoes.
Yeah, bro. Even seeing you at work, I can't even. There's I don't even know. Even your food habits and shit. You stopped even fucking around with your food at all.
So it's I guess a discipline thing is just that's where it starts.
Yeah.
It's like mindset though, right? Like if you can sit in a fucking bucket of ice for 5 minutes, I could not eat fries.
Yeah,
right. Like you tell if you can do it, you can carry that shit into other parts of your life and like draw on that discipline. Be like, dude, you know, just
Exactly.
have a little bit more discipline, you know, and apply it. But,
Yeah.
then I like it. That's what like the benefit is. Like I like people to like see that. Then maybe like they could apply it to like their own life type thing. It doesn't even have to be necessarily like exactly what I'm doing, but whatever they're pursuing in their life, they can have the intention of like better themselves in some way. Whether it's maybe start hitting the gym yourself, start I don't know,
Well,
like
they can use
caring
your
more
focus
about your health and wellness.
use your focus as on whatever their goals are.
Yeah, so like I want to really like brand like health and wellness. Like that's my part. So like I want to sell like my lifestyle thing. So it's not gonna be just like I'm gonna shove real estate in your face. I'm gonna shove. I want to provide like it's not just that. It's gonna be like health and wellness. Take care of your body. Take care of your mind.
Living
like
the right way all around.
Yeah, the right way all around. Not just one thing. So it's like a. Yeah, pretty much that.
Man, that's good. I can see that, bro. Even on IG, you push that shit.
Yeah, so that's like what I want to do.
Yeah.
And not like.
it's like we talk about it a lot. It's like be your authentic self, right? Like put yourself out there. You're going to attract like energy, right? Like if you're authentic, you'll attract authentic people into your sphere, and you know, and you don't have to be fake, right? You could be yourself, and you take, you know, you can brand yourself and your business kind of under the same umbrella now. You don't have to be like your personal page and your business page.
Yeah, exactly.
Although there's nothing wrong with that, and like because my Instagram has so many pictures in it, I think I'm gonna have to create a new one. But my brand is gonna merge, right? Like health, wellness, real estate, it's all gonna like weaved, you know, be interwoven. So.
That's where
because that's who I am, that's who he is, right? So like you don't want to represent yourself as something, and then you go meet some people, and you're fucking nothing like your Instagram, or nothing like your Facebook.
And people like that shit too. They want you to be authentic, how you are, you know. Yeah, they don't want you to be fake.
Authentic. Those are like two big words nowadays. Like
I was just having this conversation. I don't even know with who, but we were having a conversation about how tattoos they matter until you're the man. And then when you're the man and you're like the business owner, it doesn't even matter at all, right?
I got this one. I started my company, and now it's like, you know, it's like I'm my own boss now, so who cares if I got a hand
you can do what you want, you know? Yeah.
And there's a bunch of high-end people that have tattoos, but for some reason, I don't know, they look at you like you're... they're gonna look at you like something
criminal
like,
or some shit. Yeah. I don't know, bro. That's the crazy shit. Yeah,
like someone could sell a house and someone can't, but like if you have tattoos, like I'm not gonna let you sell my house. Like, I don't even know what that makes sense, really. But
I think that like that attitude about tattoos, especially in like real estate, because I'll go to things and like there'll be one guy's wearing a suit, the other guy's wearing a baseball jersey and a hat, and has a billion covered head to toe, and I don't know who's more successful. I don't know who's more influential. Like, I don't know who's more respected.
Exactly.
You know, I don't just assume the guy in the suit who looks like he might be like...
It's like a stereotype.
Yeah, because in real estate, like, you know, again, we all work for ourselves. We're independent contractors. You can be the, you know, shorts and flip-flop agent if you want, as long as you're a good agent.
Yeah. Right?
There's nobody above you telling you there's a dress code or, you know, hours you got to show up to work. And,
that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, it's...
You guys can completely be yourself.
Wake up at your own time, go to sleep at your own time.
It's all on you, bro. That's beautiful. The commission thing's beautiful because it's on how hard you grind. You know, it's on you getting jobs and getting houses. Yeah.
Pretty much at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's EXP is it's an industry disruptor, and it's like hard for people to see. Right, or accept what they're doing. It's like, you know, Circuit City turned into Amazon, Blockbuster turned into Netflix, and there was a lot of resistance along the way. People wanted their videos, and they wanted to go to the store and get their box candy, and you know, I'm not giving my credit card over the internet, and you know, and paying for some service. You know, there was all of that resistance.
Yeah.
And so.
And the real estate game is one of the last ones that I feel like hasn't been changed in forever.
Yeah, it's like everything's modern, old. And that's where like the comparison they make is like it's transitioning to a new age of everything's technology. Yeah, that's what made it pop was the COVID thing. You don't have to be in person. in your office at a brokerage or something. You could literally go hop on a meeting on your computer and you're not near no one, I guess. But that's what like really blew up the company was like during this whole stage.
They were already working towards the virtual.
And there's a lot of cool shit about EXP that doesn't really even get talked about. Like, you have an exit strategy as a real estate agent, right? Like, if you go work for the Red Company, whatever, okay, or another big brokerage.
Yeah.
You buy and sell houses. You have to buy and sell enough houses to make the commissions. When you leave, you have enough money to retire on. Which means you're buying and selling houses until you're 80 years old, because it's hard to it's hard to save and whatever. So the exit strategy for most brokerages, and if you want to retire from being a real estate agent, is you gotta buy and sell a shit ton of houses, make a shit ton of money, so you have a lot saved up. EXP offers an exit strategy out, because you can buy and sell enough houses to accumulate a good, your savings, accumulate a good amount of wealth. You've made the equity, you've gotten some stock in the company, but when you leave, you don't stop making money because you still have people you sponsor. So all those people, and the revenue share model goes down 7 tiers. So if I attract Seth, who is my first line, attracts you, now you're in my second, you attract somebody, they're in my third, they attract somebody, all the way down to 7. And I don't know the exact percentages, but they range from 1% to 4.5%, 5%.
It's like
in the tiers. So the exit strategy is be a really good real estate agent, right? Attract a lot of other really good real estate agents. So in 20 years, you have hundreds of people in your downline now.
Yeah.
That are creating passive income. So your income doesn't go away when you stop buying and selling houses. And on top of that, all that passive income can now be willed to a child. So whereas like when in the future when you leave,
you can just go to your
kids
son.
lose your income. They don't just your boss isn't going to keep paying them because you were a good dude.
Wow.
You pass, your income goes away. With this revenue stream, as long as you build up your passive income, you can actually will that so the passive income continues to go to your children, which is like. It's amazing, right? It gives you not only
that's kind of mind blowing
an exit strategy, but peace of mind, right?
Yeah.
That your family's going to have income, your kids.
Yeah, it's almost like a life insurance without having life insurance,
and it's in perpetuity. It never ends. It doesn't go away when anybody reaches a certain age. It goes away when they stop selling houses. But if you have hundreds of people,
how do you guys feel personally about the housing market in California?
It's pretty much like everywhere, but like California sucks in general with the prices are
what the fuck,
extremely high.
Yeah, man, like I want to buy a house. Seth.
Extremely high pricing and like low interest rates is like the thing right now. Because I know a couple people that actually bought houses like at the beginning.
Do you think there will be any sort of crash or adjustments?
I think that towards the end of the year, my guess is like when the unemployment shit stops. Not even the end of the year, but like coming soon is like when the unemployment stops and people start getting these aids of money. Then they're like backed up on their payments, and like a lot of houses are gonna go into foreclosure.
That makes sense,
so it's like because the housing is like super low inventory. There's no houses to give away. It's only the people that want to sell their house pretty much at this point. I mean, there is houses, but they're selling like on an average of like a week or 2 on the market.
Yeah, immediately when they get put on the market.
Yeah, they're getting bought. So that's like the thing is like people are selling their houses for profit, but eventually it's gonna have to come down gradually, and it's gonna be more of a buyer's market where people could start settling in again, I guess. But yeah, it's extremely high right now.
Remember, like people were doing mortgage forbearance, like the part of COVID, like the government and their relief bills and all that, they gave mortgage forbearance, which means basically like if you own a home, you can delay your payment. You can just like, I'm not going to pay June, just add it on to the end of my mortgage.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have, didn't pay their mortgages and they basically haven't reduced their loans. Now the home values have gone up, but I think that's going to correct itself. Like at a certain point, nobody's going to be paying $500,000 for a house that a year ago was like $300,000.
Exactly.
Or like nobody's going to be paying $300,000 for a house that was like $150,000. You know, like
Yeah, they
I
bought
was
it at an
looking-
extremely high price, and it's like
I was looking at Yucca, and that was like there's nice houses under 200 grand, and now you can't find anything nice
anything, man.
under
Nothing.
like 250 grand, like at all.
yeah.
Like,
I just did a market analysis for a friend of mine, because in 2009 he was in a bad accident. I think in like 2008, got a good sum of money, and that's when the market crashed from the subprime mortgage
yeah.
crisis and all that. So he bought his house for cash for 160 grand.
No shit.
I just did a market analysis
That's
on it.
fucking
And I think
wild.
he can get close to 350. So he can sell it
He
for
can
350.
almost get 200 grand in his pocket.
Take 300 grand, go buy a new house for cash, still not have a mortgage, and pocket 50.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, because he paid it. Yeah.
He paid cash.
So he'd get all that shit.
He could
later.
just pay cash for.
All
He can
upfront.
upgrade a little bit, but the problem is like the houses that he could get for 300 grand they're now selling for 500 grand.
Yeah, so it's like you're
So
Yeah, it's
There's
kind of like
no-
a double-edged sword.
right, you could sell your house and make money, but where are you going to move?
You're gonna move
Yeah.
to clearly a shittier house, probably.
Yeah, or back home, like until something
Until you
happens.
find something. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
rack up some more money or something.
Yeah, the market will correct itself at some point. I live in the Cove, and a house down the street from us, and that was because we have the ability to go and see what homes are worth, right? Like what they were worth a year ago or what they sold for last. Like this house is listed at $499, 500 grand, at the bottom of the Cove, and the last person to buy it spent $225.
Jesus Christ.
They're
man.
trying to, more than double the money,
Yeah,
and
Right.
they might get it.
Yeah, and they
Not-
probably will sell it.
Dude, they might get it. They might get somebody who comes in with cash offer, right?
like just trying to buy the
and
property.
waives all the contingencies, so they're just like, yeah, I just want your house. Here's the cash.
How does that work when
Like-
people get in a bidding war and they pay over asking?
Oh, it's
I
insane.
never get that. How does that work?
It's like
They literally are just like, I'm just willing to pay over what you guys are asking. Like, we'll just pay. I like the
and
house
you don't
that
even
much.
know what the other competing bids are, right? Like you're a buyer's agent, and say you want that house down the street. You submit an offer, and as the agent, I have to recommend to my client that, listen, this is a multiple offer situation. If we're gonna get the house, we have to come in over asking. What are you comfortable with? What are you, first of all, what are you approved for? What are you comfortable with? What do we really think the house is worth before we go too high? So there's a lot of adjusting, but essentially it's like the agent's responsibility to let the buyer know that this is going to be a multiple offer situation, and you don't want to come in with a less than serious offer.
Mhm.
You have to come in serious,
Gotcha.
like you're ready to buy now.
Because they're clearly not gonna.
There's no back and forth. There's no counter
Yeah.
offer, because there's going to be 19 other offers that
They
10,
can take an offer. There's gonna be an offer.
10 might be better than yours. So, you have to do things like write a letter to the listing agent, like a sob story type letter. Let them personalize you as a buyer and not just look at you as an offer. People are waiting.
And does that change people a lot? Does that make an offer like seem
I've heard
more?
stories. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard some pretty high-end listing agents tell me that it was a letter that ultimately got them to push an offer through.
Gotcha.
But still, it's not like they're just going off the letter. The money side is still there.
It's
too.
clearly business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they have a fiduciary duty. They have to be loyal, honest, to their client, 100%. Like they can't just take, a letter because it hit them in the heart when there's a better offer that might also have a letter, So, people are doing crazy shit just to buy homes.
And then there was that lady that came to our work. She was an agent, and she said that
Mm-hmm.
she was showing a house, or she was listing a house, and there was like 20 people wanting 20 offers, and there was people that were just like they've never even visited or stepped foot in the property, but they were shooting their cash offers that were like way over the property. So
not
they've never
even
even
seeing it.
Yeah, not
a
even
cash
seeing it.
offer
They
over asking.
yeah, they've seen some pictures and stuff, and they're just submitting their
It was
money.
like-
Like I want to buy this house.
It's almost like people feel like there's oil under homes, right? Like it feels like
Yeah, I don't understand what happened.
they're gonna start digging for oil.
Like I want to
'cause
buy.
they're-
I don't
wanna buy
understand
it.
how we got into pandemic and then the housing market took off. Like I don't understand. It doesn't. It's like not clicking in my head. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
It's kind
why.
of funky.
Well,
huh?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. Like
And
it's
I
like
definitely can't explain it 100%, but I know some of the factors were like cheap money, right? So like people who do have a lot of money can add to the real estate portfolio, right? So like even if you buy a house for $100,000 more than it's worth, then you're going to turn it into an investment property, like they're going to Airbnb it, or you're going to rent it out 12 months a year. You're putting an asset under your umbrella, so you're adding to your portfolio. You're increasing your cash flow, and okay, so the house you won't be able to sell it maybe for as much as you bought it for, but that's not the point. You just want to generate the cash flow. You have an additional asset, and then more than that, the tax benefits you get from owning real estate are insane. So a lot of people who buying houses are using that to offset their businesses, right? But it's not a loss. Just because they're overpaying for a house doesn't mean it's a loss. They haven't realized the loss yet. When they sell it, they'll realize it a little bit, maybe. But in the meantime, they might be making millions of dollars in their main business, and they can use this property to offset the taxes.
Yeah, gotcha.
And so that's happening. But then you have like a massive population migration. People are leaving big cities. People are leaving like homeless populated areas.
That's how I feel. I think the valley's gonna just explode, or like I think it's gonna explode as well.
Like speaking of that, like now that Coachella's coming back, it's gonna be like everyone's gonna flood here again. Everything, I don't know, the hotels.
Like, have you been to LA? I don't know if you guys have been to LA. I go to LA like every couple weeks probably, and it's bad, dude. It's bad. Like it's homeless people everywhere. Like literally every street you see tents. Like it's not even like an exaggeration. Like it is every street
on the freeway is just
tents.
San Diego's getting bad too.
Yeah.
I went down there we were there. I don't even know what we were there for, but like I was just going to get coffee in the morning. My wife sleeps late. Just go downstairs, walk out, and there's like dudes smoking crack on the street. I'm not joking. Like, I'm like, what's that smell? I can smell something. Get closer, and there's like dudes are in the middle of the day on a busy street. Like businesses are open. I was just like,
yeah, that's the crazy shit. Man. Is there's a high rise, like you're in downtown LA. There's high rises everywhere, and there's a tent right there next to the high rise, and you're like, Jesus, these people have millions of dollars, and then there's a homeless person right outside the fucking.
It's just like, all over their bills.
It's the craziest thing to me.
Yeah, so I mean that has a lot to do with it. I think like you're seeing places like Arizona, Texas.
I think
their populations are going up.
Yeah,
they're leaving from California. Then I know like New York. People from New York are going to Florida. So it's like those are like the two big ones. It's like people are actually. What they say is like the first time in people. I don't know how many years that the population in California actually went down.
Yeah.
So like it actually went down, and they're going to Texas and Arizona, like he said. Then like New York's going to Florida.
Well, what tells you that is we lost a seat or whatever in the house. So that clearly tells you that we went down a little bit.
Less people, so we lost a state congressperson.
Yeah, I don't know how much it matters or whatever, but yeah.
That's fine by me. Less California politicians.
I know, right? Jesus Christ, man.
I don't know if it's a bad thing either. It might be a little bit of
We need to lose a few more chairs, so let's...
Yeah. There's one guy I've been following. Well, so like a lot of YouTubers became famous because of the pandemic, like because they were like giving information about like, for me as a business owner, like how I can get money, what I should be doing to to get access to some of this money and whatever. So I would watch these guys religiously. And one of those guys is now running for governor. And
really?
Yeah, because they did the recall Newsom thing, actually went through. So there's going to be a vote for the governor of California. And I'm going to vote for him.
Caitlyn Jenner?
Yeah. No, Caitlyn doesn't get my vote.
And
never heard of that guy though, but
yeah, man,
it's interesting.
Caitlyn Jenner,
ice baths.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good episode. I think we're already past an hour, so I think we should wrap it up.
Yeah.
We're probably like an hour, 15 minutes. So if people could find you, if they want to reach out to you guys, where do they find you, Judd? Where do they find you on social media?
Social media, Instagram, JuddFox23. You can look up Judd Fox, JUDDFOX on Facebook. If you're interested in a career in real estate, you can hit me up on my cell, 760-851-9097. My email, judd.fox@exprealty.com. And if you're interested in the conversation, just want to plant a seed or just hit me up for some information, reach out.
They got me super interested saying that it passes down to your kids.
Dude, this company's changing the lives for a lot of
Very
people.
interesting. Yeah.
They're for sure. They're doing some cool shit.
How do they reach you, bro?
Seth Morales on everything. Seth Morales on everything, then You can find me. I'll have him tag my.
Oh, your
Put
shit.
your stuff in the bio or the information box. Might be a little easier, but
I got you. Yeah, I got you. Episode 82. We're out of here. Pretty good, man.
Later.
We're back. Later. Word.
How long did we go?